Week 8 provides another great AFC East matchup as the New England Patriots, who are trying to develop what is called a winning streak, is going up against the Miami Dolphins after a tough Sunday Night Football loss against the Philadelphia Eagles. And Ryan, I say that jokingly because normally your Patriots are always on a winning streak. So it's always fun to make fun of you whenever you guys are not doing well. But congrats, big win over the Buffalo Bills. If you picked the Patriots to win, then you were just trying to burn some money. I would say. So, what's your overall thoughts on that Patriots performance coming into then this Week 8 matchup against Miami?
So, it was different, but then it still ended up being the same. And kind of what I mean by that is instead of having turnovers early in the game, they had turnovers. They had a turnover very late in the game and actually almost blew the game with that turnover. They're still sloppy on the offensive side of the ball. A fair bit of penalties. They should have had the penalty on the first Ramondre Stevenson play on the game-winning touchdown drive on David Andrews, who they ran basically a screenplay, and David Andrews ran 5 yards down the field, and then the refs threw the flag but picked it up. And so that should have been a penalty and set them back right there. But this was Mac Jones's best game of the season. He bought himself. I think he bought himself the fans for another game or two, and we'll see how this Miami game plays out. But going 25 for 30 for 275 yards and 2 touchdowns is that's how Mac Jones is going to win football games, right? And then they play good defense, and then they win 29-25 in a close game. That's how the Patriots are going to win games. I don't think they're going to be able to do that this week against Miami. Hold them to 25 points, especially with all the injuries that they've had, but. It's promising to see that this offense can put together a game-winning drive, that they can put together a good series of plays. But there's still definitely a lot to improve upon. And you mentioned this before. I do agree with it. I do think the Bills more lost this game than the Patriots won it. I also think the Bills are a little overrated. They have a lot of injuries on the defensive side of the ball. I think there's some locker room struggle going on the offensive side between Josh Allen and these receivers, specifically Stephon Diggs seems to be divaing out over there in Buffalo. So it's going to be interesting to watch Buffalo through the rest of the season as well. I know they're not in this game specifically, but it applies to both of these teams. So,
well, it helps out Miami a lot just because, if we're looking at the standings right now, Miami's leading their 5-2. They're still a game up against the Bills. And the Bills have the tiebreaker, but the Jets are 3-3, just 2 games, a game and a half back. Is that a game and a half back? And the Jets, they think they just got that Aaron Rodgers momentum, the fact that he's back in the locker room now. And the Patriots, I think that's just a good moral victory. I think part of it too, and I think this segues into Miami also, but when there's a new offensive coordinator who is known for his offensive prowess, his mind and capabilities, it definitely takes some time to get that philosophy implemented into an offense. And I will say, and I mentioned that also then with the Patriots' current roster, especially receiver roster and lack of talent in there, I think that can have a struggling effect, especially in this first half of the season, But you're right, though. It's good to see Mac Jones that is possible. That is capable. Can we just keep building off that? So this week, if you guys lose to Miami, but offensively you're able to more keep it rhythm, you're able to stay kind of step for step with Miami. You don't want to get into a shootout, but just seeing that progression is what is exciting. It's definitely regression when you get taken out 2 games in a row and I think don't score a touchdown for 10 quarters.
Yeah, it was 79-3.
Whatever that stat was, over that 8-quarter period. So, but I say that though, and I've purposely segued Miami, and I think that's kind of what we saw a little bit last year as well with the new Mike McDaniels type philosophy, and then trying to implement that, and then have Tua get used to Tyreek Hill's speed. Then you include Jalen Waddle as well with that speed. Now they had Devin Achane, and it took some time for this offense to really get a good understanding of where the strengths and weaknesses are. And then Tua has been healthy so far this entire season, which is really good. We want to see him be healthy. And so I just use that as kind of maybe a source of optimism for Patriots fans who are struggling to see the pros in the overall offense. But when you look at Miami, though, and you look how explosive this offense is, that took time to get used to that system and everything. Miami has almost perfected it. I think the Eagles showed the entire world what their weakness was. I actually think the Bills actually showed it in week 3, but then the Eagles are able to capitalize on that. And that's just getting pressure up the middle against Tua, make them have to really get the ball out even quicker than what like they're already trying to do. I mean, they want to utilize that speed in all 4 corners of the entire field. But if you get pressure up the middle and get it with just 3 or 4 guys, so you're able to drop back your linebackers and your corners and have a lot more secondary deep, even though you are providing a lot of space, that's what's going to slow down this Miami offense. And I'll just say, just looking at it from the outside looking in, I don't see how your Patriots are going to be able to do that this Sunday.
No, I mean, I think you look at what they wanted to try to do coming into the year, right? They had Matt Judon. They were going to run 3-4 with a smaller linebacker and Marty Mapu, and really get like some speed on the field with Kyle Duggar, Christian Gonzalez. And it's like you look at the top of that defense, and Christian Gonzalez and Matt Judon are not playing for the rest of the year, most likely. And it's like you have nobody else that can really fill that void. Anthony Jennings is, I think he left the game last week with an injury. He was Matt Judon's substitute there. And I believe there were Keon White and Josh Uche did not play due to concussions. And so like they're just decimated on the defense side of the ball, and they're kind of forced to play one way, and like they're going to struggle, I think, this week. I mean, last week, while it was great to see, I don't see how they can build off of it again coming into this Dolphins game, especially in a stadium where they historically have struggled. Like they've never played well down there.
Well,
so,
but just in general, though, I just think, and we saw it in week 2, and maybe your guys' offensive line in week 2 was a little bit weaker, but I just don't think they match up well against Miami. I think Miami matches up perfectly against the New England Patriots. They match up well against a lot of teams, just because their one main weakness still is that offensive line. And as right now, New England just not able to get that pressure. And that, to me, I mean, it's kind of leading into the predictions here. And if you're still with us, thank you. Hit that subscribe button, and we're trying to help us get to 2,000 subscribers by Halloween, which is just about a week away if you're watching this video as a Tuesday evening. But the Patriots, I think they're just not going to be able to get pressure defensively up the middle. And I think Tua is just going to be able to pick apart this team just like how he was able to a couple weeks ago. And that was when they had Matt Judon and Christian Gonzalez. So I just don't see how New England can keep up with them offensively.
Yeah. So I will disagree there. I think right now the Patriots' best pass rusher is actually going to be Christian Barmore. He had a lot of pressure against the Bills last week, just up the middle and flushing Josh Allen out of the pocket. And so, like, I think there's evolutions that the Patriots can take in this, like, life without Matt Judon. I just think that ceiling is really low. And it's like, how much pressure can they really create with an interior pass rusher? I do want to see Keon White. Hopefully he comes back from his concussion this week and he can be a little bit more of a threat. But, like, it's going to be interesting to see what Bill Belichick dials up. I don't see it really working. I just think Miami will get them in situations where man for man, they're just more talented. And like, there's not much you can do about that. Like, they're just going to be more talented. So I'm going to go with the Dolphins as well, especially coming off a big loss on national TV. I think they're going to come out with a little extra to prove. So it's going to be interesting. But let's go ahead and wrap this video up here. If you guys have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe and leave a comment down below on who you think is going to come out ahead in this AFC East matchup. Is it going to be the New England Patriots? Is it going to be the Miami Dolphins? And other than that, we will see you guys next time.